Sorry.
Yeah. So I was just gonna ask, if you could continue on the notion you were saying earlier about you mentioned, the three gods in the Bible. Then I asked, could you elaborate on that? And then you were starting to say, one of them is like a destroyer, and then you
Well,
left off.
one of them is definitely fucking Lucifer. One is definitely Lucifer, and they put him under the guise of God, all under one word. Okay. So we've got, first off, to start with, we've got a creator who's kind and loving. Then we've got one that's going to burn and torture people. And then we've got another. And you see, a lot of times what they're doing in there is they're interspersing shit to fit a narrative. You have to be really, really careful and discerning with it. And as I've said, that fucking child molester that was on there with the preacher guy. Okay, he
Well,
comes
I
on.
wouldn't go as far to say that, even though
He
me and him
stabbed
we
his
get.
mother.
Oh,
What the
hold on,
hell? That's only
let me finish.
anything
Let,
else.
let me let
Anything
me
else
finish.
other than stabbing your mother. I mean, Christ Almighty. All the rest is like just gravy on the cake. I mean,
All
anybody
right,
that would
let
stab
me
their
finish.
mother, Christ.
Okay,
But
just let me.
anyway, he's a Paulist. Okay, first off, and it's like, wait a second. You worship? Do you follow Jesus or do you follow Paul? All right. Secondly, he doesn't believe in God. He believes in the Bible. Okay. He's worshiping the Bible, not God. And it expressly tells you in there not to worship the fucking word, not to worship the book. You're supposed to have God in your heart, not in a book. God doesn't live in a fucking book. It's ridiculous. And this is
Well,
what
what
these
about the
messages
third?
are actually teaching us.
What about the third God? You didn't get to the characteristics of the third God. You stopped there.
Oh, it's listen, that's all that, like I said, that's a whole nother discussion for another
Okay,
topic.
okay. Well,
Okay.
let me stop you there. I was raised in the Christian church, right? I was raised
Yeah.
both in the Catholic church and
Hmm.
then in the Seventh-day Adventist church. But then, I started to read the Bible for myself. I've read the Bible probably, at least two times cover to cover, and then I've read each individual book a handful of times. But anyway, based on my experience with that, I came to find out that many things that the Christian church are teaching about the Bible are incorrect. So that doesn't necessarily mean the Bible's false or wrong, but rather people's understanding of the Bible is wrong. Like, let me give you an example. Something you said about one God in the Bible that's all about love and peace. I
Hmm.
would disagree with that statement because there's plenty of places in the Bible where the God of the Bible is an even balance. He both loves, but he
Hmm.
also hates. That's the God of the Bible
Well,
based on
that's
my
the whole
understanding of
story
that.
is this, my friend. The whole thing is this. It's
Go ahead.
polarity. It's about polarity. Okay. Even the whole story of Adam and Eve is about polarity. The negative and the positive, the yin, the yang, the duality. Okay. That whole
So
thing.
with that, why okay, but with that statement, right, then why would you
Mhm.
say that there's one God in the Bible that's all about love then? Because you seems like you contradicted that statement with that statement you just made there.
What about the duality?
Yeah, about the duality. Say for an example, right?
Well,
Do
even
we
God said it himself. He said, "For I created everything." He created good, and he said he created evil.
exactly. So
Right.
I'm asking, with that, right? Your quote in Isaiah chapter 45, verse
Hmm.
7. I'll read it
Hmm.
for the audience. It says, "For I create light, create darkness. I make peace, create evil. I, the
Hmm.
Lord, do all these things." That cuts the Christianity and these wacky tacky Christian churches, as we call them. But
Hmm.
um, but with that statement, right, now that you can agree the Bible says that, how could you then make a statement and say that there's one of the gods in the Bible that's all about love? Well, how could you make that correlation?
Well, because there's instances where they're just switching people, they're switching characters, and you're not knowing it because they're just using an ambiguous title.
Could I have one example of this?
Well, yeah, they use the word God. God is not a name; it's a title.
Yeah, I'm not
In the
disagreeing.
original scripture, the name of the God is used. So what is God's name? So it must
Well,
be jealous. Is it jealous or is it Jehovah? You've got Yahweh, or the unpronounceable name of God. That's one. Okay. You've got Jehovah. What the fuck is that? That's a whole nother one. Now that motherfucker evil. All right. It's got they're interspersed and nobody notices because they use a title and not a name. But you have to take
the
it even
Bible
further
says.
and know that these books were written at different times when a different monolithic God was conceived of.
You do know the Bible calls men gods too, right?
Yeah,
Psalms 82 verse 6 says, "For ye are gods."
Mhm.
but
Well,
ye
it
act
does.
like
It
men
says
and
So,
that.
fall
so,
like
Listen,
so
it
princes.
says that
I mean,
today.
die like men and fall like princes.
Hey, it says
yo, she's
that
cutting
today.
out on my end.
It says that today, right? But who knows? Tomorrow it could change. We've seen a whole bunch of stuff change. Okay, I'm
Okay,
going to take
but
you to
going
one.
back to the
Are you
gods.
familiar? Are you familiar with OT, with the Old Testament?
I wouldn't say I'm as knowledgeable as the New Testament, of course, but yeah, I've
Right.
definitely read
Okay.
it,
Well,
hand
I
on
think
God.
one of the
But wait,
important
wait,
ones
before
is
we leave,
Leviticus.
before we leave
Wouldn't
off
you
to a
agree
different
that
topic,
Leviticus is a very, very important book of the Bible?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yes, I can agree, but wait, hold, just stop real quick. Before we move on to another topic, can't we just
I'm
finish
not.
the
I'm
one
not moving
topic
on
we
to another
started?
topic. I'm just going to show you something that's going to blow your mind.
All right, go ahead. Well, he's looking for that. All I'm asking for clarity for the audience is the brother made a statement about, there's three different gods in the Bible. And I've heard this idea before. There's some people I talk to who believe that the God of the Old Testament is actually the devil, and that the real God is Christ in
Yeah.
the New Testament. That's bugged out. But
I
that's a
got one
belief
even
people
better
have.
than
I,
that for
I
you.
was simply asking, if he could show me where's this notion that there's like three separate gods in the
Well, why
Bible,
don't
as in
you why don't you do a
three.
little research? I'm just going to suggest this.
130.
Look,
Do a little
look in,
research. What do you mean?
look up Athena in the Bible. She's a Greek goddess. Look up Apollo in the Bible. There's a god for you. And just do a little bit of research and just start questioning some of the things that you already know.
Well, I'd like to
And then
point
you can
out.
start to see the history and where they got their scripts from.
Okay, now let me stop you there. We
Because there's
see in the
more than three
Bible.
gods.
Let me finish. We
Excuse
see in
me.
the Bible.
You have
We
you have talked over me since you got here. You didn't even let me finish, and then you say I'm not trying to interrupt here or talk over anybody, but you did that to me when you first came. So I'm just saying, look in that direction because you are asking some important questions. So just look in that direction and start questioning what you already know and just asking yourself those questions. But if you start there, that will start giving you a direction in which to do your own
okay.
study.
So, ET,
Okay.
check this
Now,
out.
now wait, but
Um,
before wait, hold on a second. That's not fair. Before you read that, please let me give a response to what she just brought up. That's not fair if I don't get to do that. What she said there, I agree that in the Bible it gives references to other gods that are believed to exist, but it's not saying that those are real supreme gods. It's just mentioning that other nations have gods that they worship. So I can agree that
You
in the
don't know
Bible,
what a God King is?
wait. You just complained about me cutting. I want to ask you, but before I get to that, I wanted to see your point about proving that there's like a wicked God in the Bible, and then a God that's
well,
all about
anybody that's going to take the
still having
firstborn,
some.
that's going to take the firstborn of an ethnic group and kill them is
Oh,
not.
you're talking about the Exodus story, right? Where
Yes, yes.
okay,
Now, who can what the where the no? This is right before they left. This is right before they left. This is where the holiday of Passover comes from. We call it Passover because they put lamb's blood. The Hebrews put lamb's blood on the doors on their doors, and that way the God would pass over them and not kill their firstborn. But everybody else who wasn't a Hebrew and didn't do this, their firstborn child was killed.
right.
So God killed a, a group of children
But what's your point with mentioning
through
this though?
ethnic cleansing. That was ethnic
What are you
cleansing.
proving?
Do you don't think that was evil? You don't think that's an evil thing to do? To ethnically cleanse a culture?
I mean, well, we see in the Bible where God's going to wipe out an entire
Well,
nation.
wait, hold on a second. I didn't ask you about that.
But it
I
answers your
said,
question.
is
You
it
asked.
or is it not evil to select an ethnic group and kill their children? Is that or is that not evil?
I would say no. because there's
That's not
reasons
evil.
that
So what made it
are you gonna?
okay? What made it okay to kill those innocent children for the crimes of their parents?
Well, there are verses in the Bible that speak about that that the children would pay for the sins of their forefathers, but that's a different topic. That
That's
now is
not
the
even
response.
Why
what
is
we're
it
talking
Please,
about.
please let me.
imperfect?
Please,
What we're
So let
talking
can
me
I
let,
please
let me do
can I
something.
please
So let me
respond to your
suppose you had a
question,
grandfather. Let me suppose you had a grandfather who
dude?
was
I'm
a
literally going to answer the question you asked me. I
right.
just asked you two
So you
times.
should be
Would you let me
punished.
give an answer?
It's
Uh,
ridiculous.
you asked me, and I told you I was going to give you an answer, but then when I went to speak, you both went to talk over me when I said I was
You
going to give you an
directed
answer.
to some other
Question.
shit that we're not talking about. We're talking
It's
about
a,
is it
it's
or
a,
is it not evil to select a group of children based on their
dude.
ethnicity and
Are
kill
you
them
paying?
because of what their parents may or may not have done?
Okay, now if you weren't paying attention, what I said is I mentioned there are verses such as the one I mentioned. Then I said, now I'll give you an answer to what you asked
No.
me. That's what I said. Then I got talked over. So anyway, the answer to your question, based
Wah,
upon the
wah,
scriptures,
wah.
is there's a reason why God did that. He brought a plague upon those nations, well, multiple plagues, and that was the final straw to set his people free from under that captivity. So you might perceive that as evil, but
Well,
God did it for a reason.
anyone would perceive it's evil. Just because it's your dude, don't make it okay. That was killing children for the crimes of their father. That would be like somebody finds out that your dad did something bad and they come and lock you up in jail for it. Okay? Only more harsh because you don't ever get let out of that jail. That's over. You're dead. You got murdered by God because of some shit your parents did.
Well, I
You don't
subscribe
think
to
that's evil? You don't think that's evil. You think that's fully okay. If you believe
based
that,
on
then you believe that it's
based
okay to ethnically cleanse people because you don't like what their parents did.
Those were
based
listed as
on.
curses.
Am I going to get a chance to respond?
I don't
Yeah,
know
go
how
ahead.
much has anybody else got the chance to respond. Just asking.
Well, to be fair, nobody's asking you a question. The questions are being asked for me, so why would you respond?
I asked the question.
What question do you ask?
I said I just did ask the question.
All I heard was him speak.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Talk away.
Okay. Now, once again, I subscribe to something called reincarnation in the Bible, but that's a completely different topic there. But what ties into all of this? Because again, based on the stream you guys did with my boy Jay the other day, there was a verse brought up, and I was so intrigued to see where this would go,
Wait,
but
wait, wait.
nobody talked about
Your boy.
it.
Wait.
It's a slang.
Are you somebody's?
It's a slang word.
Well, that's really kind of belittling, isn't it? To call somebody your boy. You're not God.
It,
Holy crap.
do you know there's something called slang words? Well, you won't get it 'cause you're not from our crowd, so you won't get the gist of it. But anyway, I digress. Words. Well, you won't get it 'cause you're not from our crowd, so you won't get the gist of it. But anyway, I digress. Oh damn, where did I leave all? Oh yeah, I was so intrigued to see where this conversation would go about the verse. What is that scripture? Luke chapter 19, verse 27. You brought this up on the stream the other day, but it just got glossed over, and then you guys went back to the Mandela, topic. But I wanted to see where that would go. Like what was the entire reason that verse was brought up? You were saying something along the lines of this doesn't add up with the Jesus in the Bible, because here we see Jesus killing people, but then you said that doesn't add up with the Jesus in the Bible, and
That's
then
right.
you didn't go on to anything else. Well, how's that right?
Well, we couldn't go to anywhere else because every 30 seconds, your boy Jay would see a squirrel or some other shit and then just start fucking blurting out nonsense.
Okay, well, guess what? Now you have a chance to answer.
Right.
I
Okay. So we have Jesus telling people, turn the other cheek. Don't retaliate. Right? Don't retaliate. Just because someone gets after you doesn't mean you go back after them. That puts you in the same boat with them. Right? And then we got in Luke 19:27, Jesus is telling his people to bring his enemies before him and slay them. Now, do you think that those two statements are contradictory to one another?
Okay, can I give the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we read both of these, they are both being used in different contexts. When Jesus was teaching about turn the other cheek, he was on the scene 2,000 years ago teaching to people, saying, "Hey, look, if one slaps you, turn the other cheek." But
Mhm.
Luke 19 is going into the future when he makes his second return. You do
Oh,
agree that
so
Christ?
this violent killing
Let
people's
me finish.
okay.
It's only fair if you let me finish. I mean, I don't know why I keep getting talked over. Please let me finish.
Well, because you
You would
contradict your
agree,
fucking self constantly.
and do keep in mind for the audience, he's the one who's getting angry. I'm being chill on
I'm
here.
not angry. I'm
Oh,
just
he's
going, what
being
the fuck,
so
man?
calm and passive aggressive and sticky sweet. Don't you like those kind of snakes? Just saying.
So, Snake,
Got
who the hell have
years
I
on
done?
you.
Who the hell have I done dirty on here? I
No,
don't get
you're all
that.
right,
But
man.
anyway,
Look, I'm not angry.
No,
I'm just very to the point. Okay.
frustrated.
okay,
I'm a
okay.
type
Well,
of person.
I'll
I'm
get to
very,
the.
very to the point. So the
Okay,
answer
well, I'll
to
get to the point. I'll get.
regardless,
Wait.
so
You didn't let me finish. You
I
didn't let
know
me
you're
finish.
going to
Didn't let
say
me
this is
finish.
when he comes back with his mighty sword and chops people up and all this
That's
other
not
fucking horse
that's
shit that
not
y'all make up.
that's not what I was going to ask you if you would have let me finish. I was going to ask, which in all fairness, it's similar but not the same question. I was going to ask you is would you agree based on your teaching of the Bible, even though you don't believe in Christ, do you have the decency to at least acknowledge that Christ in the Gospels speaks about a future judgment where people will have to pay for their sins? Can you at least agree that Christ teaches about that in multiple places in the Gospels?
I can't say that he actually said that. No, I can't. In
So
fact,
he
I
didn't say that.
can't really actually say that he really even existed. Okay.
But
And the
based on the
reason I say
story
that
that
is
was,
because it is an awful strange coincidence that whole story seems to be a reboot of a reboot of a reboot of the same
Yeah.
story. Okay. So that being said, the people that wrote about what's going to take place, okay, were doing this all after the fact and they had different opinions. Most theologians don't regard Luke as actually a credible gospel at all. Okay. And in addition to that, there's those like myself that look at Paul as a complete douche canoe. Okay. I don't even know where the fuck he got any authority to, because a donkey talked to him. Fuck him. This dude robbed and killed people. And then you're gonna
oh,
pass it off like it's
I seen
okay
you made a
now
statement.
because I talked to a donkey. That's ridiculous, man. That's as bad as that Chomo dude that was on the fucking thing the other day.
I seen you made a statement about Paul the other day, and and I don't want to, put words in your mouth, but you were saying something along the lines of, well, Paul, he wouldn't really, fit Christ's teaching, because he was going around, killing people,
Mhm.
for believing in Christ. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, yeah, when you read the story, it's like he started off as that, yes, but
Yeah.
then over, the course of time,
Talk to a
he
donkey and now it's okay.
can I please finish? Over the course of time, he got converted and then taught Christ and did not
Wait.
get
Over a course of time, I thought he got fucking struck down and a donkey talked to him. It was all of a
what
sudden. This
maybe
wasn't a
that.
gradual process. This was like, oh shit,
Oh,
these people are probably going to kill me for what I've done. I better start
okay,
playing on their
maybe
team. But being the
okay,
grabbler
maybe
that he is, but being the grabbler that he was, he couldn't help but get his filthy little fingers into the fucking pots of the church. See, that was his whole goal.
okay. Well, oh man. But anyway, going back to the statement. So you're
Besides
telling
that,
me again. I know
besides that, I thought you worshiped Jesus. I thought you followed Jesus. Do you follow Jesus or do you follow Paul?
now you're asking me an entirely different topic, but you didn't even
But I mean,
finish
I'm
the
just
two other
saying, that's
topics.
something for you to think about, really.
It's not something, bro. Do you think you're the first person I'm talking to? I've talked to hundreds of other people over the course of 7 years on YouTube
Have
who
you ever
asked me very
successfully
similar
answered that
questions.
question?
Yes, they have, but you have asked me multiple other questions that you have failed to give a reasonable answer to, such as I asked you, even though you don't believe in Christ, based on your readings of the
Mhm.
Gospels, it's like, could you at least agree that there appears to be parts in the Gospel where Christ speaks about, he warns that there's a future judgment coming, and those that
Yeah,
don't
but
repent
it's
to
not by
him
him.
will be punished?
He doesn't say he's going to be judging anyone. It doesn't say he's going to be punishing anyone.
What do you mean by that? What
Exactly
about
what I
Revelation?
said. Tell me where it says he's going to be doing any of this fucking punishing or this judging. That
What about
judgment day was already prophesized before any Messiah ever came, that there was going to be a judgment by God. By God, not by Jesus, by God.
okay? I'll give you that. This is what I call a knockout. This is a knockout blow. So what
You're gonna
about? Are you familiar with Matthew chapter 5? Actually, not chapter 5, chapter 25, and starting at verse 31 on down. Are you familiar with that?
I don't know,
No.
refresh me. I could look it up,
Okay.
but refresh me.
So in this instance, again, starting at verse 31 on down, there's two groups of people. Christ is asking them, basically judging them how they live their lives. One group they follow what they're supposed to, the other group didn't. So Christ is sending the group away into a punishment. So are you going to tell me that's not Christ sending this group of people away into a punishment there?
Is that did he violently do that? Did he beat him up? Did he kill him? He didn't. I
So,
noticed there was no bloodshed. I noticed there was no violence. I noticed that all he did was send them away. That was his punishment, was to send them away.
I mean, there are other verses in the Bible that speak about there being bloodshed. So, you
It
can't
doesn't
pretend that
say
that's not
Jesus is going to kill anybody. It doesn't say that Jesus is going to judge anyone. It doesn't say that Jesus is going to punish anyone. It says that God is going to do that, not Jesus. Unless you're one of those that think that God and Jesus are one and the same, that's ridiculous. Because who in the hell
no,
was he
that's
praying
not
to? Himself?
that's
Oh,
not what
me,
I'm
why
saying.
have you forsaken me? That makes no sense.
It's like you don't even have to say that, because I just said, maybe you didn't hear me, that I don't believe that before you make that
Okay.
statement.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of people believe that nonsense, man.
Well, how about for the audience? Like say for example, right? I want to keep it
Mhm.
decent and friendly, right?
Right. I'm
So
good,
for the
man.
audience, could you read the verses I just quoted for you,
Yeah,
and then
what
we
was
can
it,
see.
Matthew? Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 25, starting at verse 31 on down the rest of the chapter. It goes quick.
25, verse 31, you said?
Yes.
Okay. God damn, how long does that go? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sit back, guys. Get some popcorn. All right. And ye shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you for the foundation of the world. Okay. For I was and hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was stranger, and ye took me in. Yeah, that's talking about God. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came to me. There again, God. Then ye and the righteous answered him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Boy, they were long-winded. All he had to say was they were really nice to people. when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have not done it, you have done it unto me. Then shall I say also unto them, in the left hand, depart from me, and ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his under angels, and his angels. Where I was and hungered okay. So that's what you're talking about there?
Yes, that's the notion. So let's go off of what you said. You
Yeah,
said something along the lines, and I'll let you rephrase it. But you were saying we don't see where Christ is like physically causing people harm, is what you said, correct?
right.
Okay, so it's not, Christ is not physically causing these people harm by basically sending his angels to cast these people into fire. He's giving the command for this to be done. So he's not the one causing
Okay.
them this harm by commanding this to happen to them, you're saying?
Yeah.
You could agree that's a good point I got there, right?
No, not really, because that doesn't, he's
Okay,
not
go ahead.
doing anything to anyone. He's not,
Okay, well, this
you know what
is
I'm saying? It doesn't say that's him doing it.
okay. Well, here's the blow. This is the KO right here.
Mhm,
Isaiah chapter 66, verse
mhm,
15 and verse 16. For
mhm.
behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render
I
his
don't,
anger with
all
fury
right,
and
great.
his
You know
rebuke.
what? Hold on a
I'm
second.
not finished. Not finished.
I
Yep.
don't give a
Yep.
fuck about that. We're talking about Mandela effects tonight, okay? You have
Oh,
totally derailed. No,
so now
shut
the
up a
topic
minute.
changed.
You have totally derailed this thing off into some theological fucking discussion, which I said I didn't want to fucking get into tonight.
When did you say that?
I said that right off the bat. I said, we're talking about the Mandela effect, man, and your retarded buddy Jay.
Okay, could you acknowledge that just 5 minutes ago
No,
we
I'm
were
not
having a
going to
friendly
acknowledge anything at all. Okay. It's just cockamamie horseshit.
Oh, okay. What I think's going on here is you
What
made a
I think's
statement,
going
and
on here
I
is you've
clearly
decided to come
debunked
on
it.
my stream and you've decided to hijack it and derail it into some kind of a
No,
fucking
I didn't do
theological
nothing.
bullshit.
I'm
Okay.
being very friendly with you. What
I
did I do?
understand
I'm
you're being
having a
very
conversation.
friendly with me. I can be very friendly with you and talk about the topic at hand. Do
Keep
you
in mind,
remember
I
what the
I
topic at
never
hand
agreed.
was? Do you remember what the topic at hand was?
Are you going to give me a chance to speak? Yes or
Well,
no?
it's just
To
a
answer the
yes or
question.
no fucking question,
The
man.
topic that it's like, dude, take a chill pill, man. Nobody's trying to attack you. I mean, chill
I
out.
know you're not, but you're just
Yeah,
totally
the
hijacking
topic,
this with nonsense.
the
Just
topic
say
at
it and
hand.
quit explaining to us. We're not your little boys or girls. So just talk to us like we're adults. You can do that, can't you?
I mean, damn, I can, but it's I
Good.
don't know if
Thank
you're able.
you.
I
I
don't know if you're able
appreciate it.
to handle that. So the topic at hand that we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes
That's
is
because you
about this Christ.
hijacked it to that,
He
dickhead.
said we're talking
How
about the
how
Mandela effect.
We're
how the hell
talking
did I?
about
How the hell
Mandela
did I?
effects. You haven't said anything about the Mandela effect at all. You haven't said anything about flat earth at all. You hijacked it to go on and try to spout your fucking Paulist bullshit. I don't care.
Paul, bro, you're the
So,
one who brought up Apostle
so
Paul. I
what
wasn't the one who
Mandela
brought him up.
effects or things you've seen change in the Bible yourself personally,
Oh,
ET?
okay, hold on a second, and this is where I'm
Don't
thinking.
tell me to hold on. I
Start
asked
going
you
off on
to
theological fucking
answer.
bullshit. I'm just going to
Good
kick you out.
God, I'm not your boy or girl.
Okay.
We're talking
Okay.
about the Mandela effect. I know
Okay,
you're here to
just so
derail
I
me
know.
off of the subject. I know you're here to derail me off the subject, but I'm not going to
Okay,
let you.
so just so I'm clear, I do not have freedom of speech here. Am I right or wrong?
Well,
Oh, good God, grow up.
listen. Hey, I'll tell you what. Okay. How about that you start talking about your thing and then I'll start answering you with fucking recipes for different French dishes.
Okay,
Okay.
listen,
Because
any
we
topic.
are off topic. Do you understand what that means? Off topic, right? Have you ever watched on a television program when they have a guest on there and they come on and the topic is maybe the war in the Ukraine? The guy doesn't come on and tell you what the coolest thing that Coolio just did was, does he?
Okay,
No,
okay,
that guest
was there?
stays on topic. You
Okay,
see?
let's see if we can be honest or not. Was there a time that I said that I deliberately came on to
No, you didn't
just talk
have to
about the
deliberately.
subject of
You didn't
the
have to.
Mandela?
You didn't
I did
have
not
to
do
do
that.
it. You didn't have to
Whoops.
announce it. That's what
May I
you've
also
done.
point out that the
Hi,
main
team. Good
question,
to
and
see
I
you.
told you this, the main question I wanted to ask you about was about Luke 19:27, about Christ
Right.
killing. That's
And I
initially,
answered it.
the main question,
And I answered
bro,
it.
you got cut to shreds. I cut you up, and you clearly see
No,
that.
you
So now
didn't. No, you
you're trying
didn't.
to change the
You
topic because
spouted. You
that's what you're
spouted
doing.
out your interpretation that someone else gave you of those books. That's what you did.
So how do
You
you deal
didn't
with the
rip
one
anything
where
to
it says
shreds because what we're
that you
talking
looked at
about
it?
is something that has not occurred, that we don't even know is going to occur. Okay. So it's kind of a non sequitur when you get into it because
Wait,
it's like,
but you're cut
what's the
because you said
color
the
of
Bible
air?
doesn't teach that, but I clearly proven it
I
does.
didn't
So, I
say
mean,
what the
you don't have to
Bible
make a
teaches.
stand on it.
Okay. So back to the Mandela effect, right?
See,
So
that's
we've
the only
already
thing you
found
can talk
one
about.
that you
That's
have.
all you can talk about.
I can
I
talk
know you
about
guys
other
are like
things. Was there anything in my fucking description or in the title of this goddamn live stream, ET, that said anything about let's talk about the fucking Bible? Let's have a theological discussion.
I can
No. If
no.
you
But
look real
did it
quick.
say
It's right
Mandela
there
effect?
in your hand. You can look at
Can't
it. What's it
read.
say? What does it say?
Let me go on
Nothing about
YouTube.
that, does it? Nothing.
Give me a second. I'll go on YouTube, look up the name. Just give me 1 second.
How did the fuck did
Oh,
you find
okay.
this? How did you find this
No,
show?
no,
YouTube.
listen. I'm on a phone, so I'm on StreamYard. I went to YouTube. I got it right here in front of me. It says nothing
How
about
did you
talking
get
about.
how did you
I'm
get
going to
to this
answer.
show?
Dude,
Sovereign,
I'm
hello to
going
everybody. How are you? Hey, Sovereign, you have the eject button. It's at your control.
I know. I'm about to do it too.
It's annoying.
I mean, what did I do to deserve to get kicked off? I'm being very
I'll
friendly.
tell
You're
you
the one
what you
who
did.
It
You
doesn't.
are derailing the conversation into what you want to talk about.
How the hell am I
Okay?
doing that?
If
You
you
said I could
notice,
ask you a
well,
question.
because as I stated earlier, there's a title of the video, and down in the description is a little thing that tells you what the show is going to be about.
Okay, now if it's my first time on here, how do you expect me to know that?
I don't know. How did you even find this show?
How did I find it?
Yeah.
Because I found it on Jay's subscription list, so he sent me
Hold
a
up. So
link
you
on
So
it.
watch other
Jay sent
people.
you
Wait,
here.
hold up though. See, he just said he doesn't know about YouTube or how it works, but he just explained
I
that he
didn't
was
say
with
that.
other people's YouTubes. Yeah,
No,
you did.
what I'm
You just
saying
said you
is
didn't know.
Oh, Jay sent you. Just
Yes,
say
he
it.
did.
Are you a liar? You're not going to be of the
no,
devil and lie, are you?
he did not send me. He did not send me.
And how'd you find out that this was going on?
How to find out? Because you
Yeah.
guys did a stream and he sent me a link to the stream so I could listen to the conversation.
That's what I just said. So
But
Jay
he
sent you here.
I joined at my own will.
Jay
I
sent
joined
you
at
here.
my own will.
Come on, you're lying. God knows you're lying.
I'm not.
Come
If you
on,
want
come on.
follow
He
you
sees
here.
through you. I can see through you. You know God can.
Dude, I join streams all the time on YouTube. You're nothing special, man.
Wait a second. You
Hey,
just said you
hold
don't know
on.
how this works?
Let me ask ET a question. Hey, are you an air
Go
conditioned
ahead.
hole? Are you
Go
air
ahead.
conditioned hole? Are you
An
an air conditioning hole?
I can't hear what you're saying. Speak a little louder. Speak proper English, please. What
Are
was the
you
question?
a air conditioning hole?
I don't get what you mean by that question. Are
Okay,
you
you
asking
probably don't. Anyways, if you're an agent, you probably get that. So you're probably not an agent. So
an
that's
agent?
good to know. Yeah.
Do you know that I've been teaching on YouTube since I was 14 years old? So who
Hold
the
on,
hell
Hold
hold on,
on.
hold on, hold on. You just contradicted yourself, ET, and you just showed that you're a liar. You just said
How?
you didn't know much about this or on YouTube and stuff and acted like you were just totally
But
new to the shit. Now you're telling me that you've been fucking with YouTube since you were 14?
I said
Which one is it?
I'm 20. I'm 20 years old, so
I don't
I've
give
been
a
on
shit how
YouTube.
old you are. You can't have it both ways. You either know
What
or you don't.
no,
And you
no,
lied.
what did I lie about?
You
Somebody asked me
said
a
that you
question.
didn't
How I
know much
spent?
about this YouTube and you didn't know about
No,
descriptions and or the title
no,
or nothing else
dude.
like that, right? And then you
That's
just said
not
you was on
that.
YouTube now since you
Jesus
were
Christ.
14.
That's not
I have a question.
that's not
I have
what
a
I said.
question.
I said I didn't look at your description because this is my first time I'm here on your channel. So how the
Well, then
hell am
why
I
would you
supposed to
even
know?
come?
Can I please finish? Just give me 10 seconds. if this is my first time on your channel, how am I
Yeah.
supposed to know your rules are in the description if this is my first time here? That makes a little logical sense.
Well,
Think about it.
is there someplace else that, and you've been on YouTube since you were 14. Is there somewhere else that somebody's putting what the fucking stream is going to be about?
To be
Hold on,
quite honest,
hold on.
to be
Description?
quite honest, nobody really reads descriptions anymore. That's
Well,
that's
that's
like
I have a.
nobody reads.
so
When you guys are
let me
finished,
just hold on. Let me finish with one
And
thing.
we
okay,
read the
okay,
title.
So
okay.
let me get this straight. You just get sent a random link and you just go ahead and hit it. You don't know what it's about. You just go and just bam, there it is. Because somebody
You-
sent you a link.
Whoever comes here to solve it,
You do know
whoever comes here.
you do
Go
know
ahead,
that
ET man.
we've been on 100 different streams on 100 different channels, right? So this is nothing new. Like this is nothing special over here. This is easy mode right here. There's nothing.
So
deep.
ET,
You don't
ET,
ever look and see what the title of it is. Somebody sends you a
I-
link and you go, "Hey, what's this going to be about?"
Dude,
I have
I
a question.
literally. Did you know
I
how
have a question.
Discord? You can ask in a second, dude. Do you know how Discord works? I can literally see the name of the video and the channel before I even click on it. Did you know that? So you're correct. Go ahead with your question.
You said you teach on YouTube. You've been teaching since 14 years old. I'm just curious what you've been teaching. Is it just very subjects, different subjects?
Look at the swallow hat.
That's his
Yeah,
perception,
you really
and I
think
respect
that?
that.
You got cut on almost every point you brought up. Not
Is
not
that
even trying to be mean. Not at all.
that's really what you think?
Like, what about
Really?
where I proved to you that Jesus is going to kill people, and then you were like, "Well,
No,
let's
you
not
didn't
talk about
prove anything. You proved that you have an
it." Oh, really?
interpretation that
Then why did you run from me and said
no.
you didn't want?
You
You said you
proved
would
that
kick me
your
if I kept talking about it.
interpretation.
Oh, hold
You
on.
were
I got to
scared.
hear how
Proved that
Jesus
your
is going to kill people.
interpretation.
Wait, go ahead, Sting. What was that?
How is Jesus going to kill people? I've missed that. didn't come to that part of the panel.
I will answer that question, but in order for me to properly give you an answer, I must know this. Have you ever read the New Testament? Just a yes or no that I
I've
can.
read many versions of the Bible, old and new, many. I've studied it almost for 20 years. But I've
Okay,
left it. I left it. I went a different route. I took a dark path of part of my ascension. I went to the Babylonian Bible and was sort of under the apprenticeship of Marduk. So I experienced both the light and dark.
Okay, so out of the times that you've read the New Testament, you mean to tell me that you cannot even think of one verse where Christ warns that people should repent from what they're doing or there's going to be consequences when he returns? You've never seen Christ speak about that.
Of
Are
course,
you
there's
sure?
many verses. There's many verses. Yes, I
So
agree.
what the hell are you talking about? About we don't see Christ killing people. We clearly see that in the Bible.
So in what form though? Like I understand, is he coming through a spirit if somebody does sin, sort of, giving them a disease or something, or is
Well,
it
let me
just
say this. Let me say this. That it can happen that way. Certain people, say for example, because according to the Bible, who's the one who's behind death? The Most High is the one who is behind the death of a person. Oh, and real
Well,
quick.
hold on. It says now though in Exodus when he was going through there snuffing the Egyptians' firstborn, that it used to say that he sent the angel of death, and that's why the angel of death would pass over the Hebrews because they had the blood on the door. But now it says that it isn't the angel of death; it's the Lord passes over and kills him. He's actually got his hands bloody with this one.
Okay, now even going by this, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, even if it wasn't the Lord Himself who did this, we see in the Bible where God can send deceiving spirits to carry out His will. Such as, I'll give you an example. We see this in 1 Kings chapter 22, starting at 18 on down, right? The Lord gave a command. He told the spirit to go be a lying spirit, and they followed His command. Now, real quick, Sing, here's a
Hold on.
question.
I'm going to stop you, IT or ET. I'm going to
What,
stop you.
am I getting kicked off
Hold on.
because I'm showing too much proof?
You're doing it again. You're doing it again. And I'll say it again. You merely are giving us your interpretation, which
let's
we
hear it
have
though.
already we have already rejected it. Okay. There's no
Okay.
need to give us your interpretation of it again. You
So you already
understand?
okay? If
So
this
that's not
has
a
already
win.
been
That's
done,
not a
then
win. Hold on. That's not a
I'm
win
cool.
because let me tell
I'm
you
cool.
why. You're trying to argue events that have not even taken place. Okay. And your interpretation of events that have not taken place. So once again, You tried to hijack this thing over into what your fucking Bible bullshit
How
that
am
you
I
want to talk
hijacking
about.
something by just answering a question?
Because
That
you
makes no
already
sense.
went over those points and we
But he
said
wasn't
we
here.
didn't
But he wasn't
accept
here.
them. Yeah,
But
he
he
was. He
wasn't
was
here.
in the chat. He was listening.
Oh, okay,
Could I
so
have a few minutes with ET, like 5 minutes,
please, just give me 5 minutes with him, please.
Well, I'm
if
really
it's
getting
okay?
fucking tired of the goddamn Bible bullshit. I really am.
I'm
Unless we're
curious.
going to discuss some Mandela effect changes that
Okay,
occurred in the
Well, why
Bible.
can't
one
I just answer his
Give it
question?
up.
I mean, he
one
asked
quick
me and I
one
just want
quick
to answer it.
one quick question to add. So, ET, do you affiliate JC with the sun?
With the sun, are you talking about?
The sun,
Let me
the sun on our planet.
okay. Please let me understand, because there are people going out there saying that God is the physical sun in the sky, going off of verse in Corinthians. I don't agree with that. So no, Christ, the Son of God, doesn't have anything to do with the physical sun that we see in the sky. To answer that question,
So Paul wrote that, though.
well, that's your misconception as to what he's talking about. Real quick, so Sing, let me just show you this real quick.
No,
Revelation chapter
now
1, verse
again,
18.
there again, your interpretation versus someone else's. That's all you
And
got.
Can I please answer the question
one
he's
thing I'm going to
asking,
define
or
though,
are you
ET,
gonna
is
cut me off?
one thing. ET is I have my own information, and yes, JC shall be killing people because it's going to go that way, and I have complete information of that, but it's been interpreted to myself different. Yeah, I do agree with that, but it is much different than people can conceive and perceive what JC is actually representing and what is going
Okay.
to happen. So I agree with you totally, 100% of that.
Okay. So Sing. Now you agree that Christ is going to kill according to the Bible. Do you agree? Yes or no? Because you said
Oh
you
yeah,
didn't agree.
definitely.
Okay.
That's
Just
already,
real quick
yeah.
for the audience, Revelation chapter 1, verse 18, red letter, Christ speaking. I am he that lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. So who does death and hell belong
E-
to? Christ has the keys.
Exactly. Yes.
So proven that Christ kills. So did you not know that yesterday? Did you just learn that, or why do you even ask me the question if you are
No,
agreeing
no,
with me?
I was just curious in your opinion, what was your perspective
But
of
you never said. Oh, okay.
how it's going to happen. I was aware it's going to happen. Definitely, I know that. But I just wanted your perception, right? Everybody has their own perception. I've been informed differently. You have your bits and pieces of information. This is what I do. I gather information from everyone, and I do builds to enhance my understanding. So I really don't take people's sides. I just grab information that resonates with
No,
myself, and I
Rocky
work